humans aren't the only people that get diseases. Bees can get them too. You know, diseases often will harm the thriving production of colonies for bees across the world. Some bees don't have diseases. This bee clearly is not as lucky. What a tragic case. This bee has Varroa mites, which are mites that latch onto a host and cause deformities in their wings, preventing any flight. This bee is lucky, though. It could be worse. He could have the Karen mites. This bee does not seem as lucky. Covered with the Karen mites, this bee still has full flight capabilities, but is unable to breathe as the mites restrict the airway. Now let's get to some bacterial diseases, shall we? Now there are several different varieties of Sac Brood Virus, which are common and have many different cultural differences depending on the region in which they originate. There's American full brood and European full brood. Two similar diseases, but with very different repercussions because of the bacterial differences between the two continents. Here. Perfect example of a bee who has American full brood, I would say, or sac brood even. As the outer coating of the bee will be covered with a hard exterior that is not normal in color to the bee, is much different. And unfortunately, this will cause the bee to wither and die, often before reaching maturity. What a tragedy is that American sac. Some viruses. How exciting. Now this next virus we're going to talk about, or the first virus, it doesn't matter, is a very tragic case. Now this virus is incredibly deadly. It'll cause horrible shaking within the bee and an overall bloated abdomen. Horrible fate. He's in excruciating pain. He's having a bad time. This will very easily cause to a shutdown in the overall organ process of the bee and cause them to die. What a tragic story. And the final virus today we're going to cover is a horrible mutation of the Sac Brood Virus. Now this will affect non-adult bees usually, as larvae never get a chance to grow. As they start in a deep dark gray shell, and they will actually shed out of it as larvae and grow into bees, but they will immediately be affected with a coating over their whole body, which prevents any sort of movement, such as flight, such as travel, all body function. So essentially, they have no chance of survival after the larval stages. And then you can become, much like this bee now, have a horrible fate. Horrible, horrible virus. Now, I hope today we've learned a little bit about bee diseases, and we know that bees are people too, and they can get diseases like people too. Stay safe, and remember, any bee can get sick from any disease.